Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, children.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Welcome to your very own program, the 10 Tales of Taff. Now, we talked about what that means, right?
Yes.
Taff is one of the names of this... Karbala. Well done. And what date is it today?
4th of Muharram.
4th of Muharram. Well done. Can you remember which places we've visited so far? Yes, Aliyah.
Kufa and Medina.
We went to Kufa and we went to Medina. And who did we visit in those cities?
John and Muslim.
Yeah, do you want to give me a name?
Muslim ibn Aqil.
Muslim ibn Aqil, John, and
Janaza.
Well done. So you remembered all of the names. All right. Let's see. We talked about how many people the Imam had, how many companions, including family, when he reached Karbala.
72 plus.
Yes. 72, around 72 at that point. Yeah. Can you know any of their names? Apart from their family, now we know their his brothers, his nephews, all of those. Abu Dhar was a companion of our Prophet who passed away during the time of Imam Ali alayhi salam. So he wasn't there. Any other names you have in your mind that of companions of Imam Hussain? Yes, Zahra?
Well, Aliyah said this before, but John.
John, well done. And hint. Daylam.
And his husband.
Zuhair ibn Qayn. Well done. So there were quite a few people. I wonder who we'll meet today, though. Shall we move to our history chest and see which city we're going to?
I think, you know what, I get really happy when I see children wanting to learn about what happened in the plains of Karbala and what happened to Imam Hussain. And I think it's really good. First, I was a little bit sad, thinking I have to go over this sad story. But now, because you're learning and you're really, really interested, I really like to go back to history. So let's see where we're going to go.
What happened, Daylam? Which name is it?
This reminds me just tears and sadness.
Karbala.
Yeah. Karbala. And the moment we say that word, we remember. Yeah. Tears, hardship, sadness, and grief. Just like Muharram reminds us of grief.
Would you like to visit Karbala?
Yes.
Definitely.
Let's go, children.
Let's go.
Oh Allah, what have I done? I had no idea what leads to this. I could never imagine that they would plan on killing the grandson of the Prophet, peace be upon him. I wish my hands were broken before I held the reins of Imam Hussein's cause. My life was taken before I frightened the innocent children of the holy household. How will I face the Prophet on the Day of Judgment? What will I say to Lady Fatima Zahra? Though I'm not worthy of forgiveness, will they accept me? Is there any way of redemption? forever close all the doors of forgiveness, Masaib.
Why, children, are you tired of all that time traveling?
Yes.
I had a lot of fun though. It was a bit scary. I mean, it was all dark, all those tents. And did you notice that there were a lot of tents on one side, and on the other there were only a few? Yeah, the color, I mean, the flags were different as well. Yes, sir.
There were a lot of red tents, but there was barely any green tents for Imam Hussein's.
Yeah, probably Imam Hussein didn't have many companions, right? So Imam Hussein had 130 at most, but in the other camp there were 30,000 men. So obviously there had to be a difference. And do you know who that person was?
No.
Did you see his body language? What was he doing? Yes, Zainab.
He was like,
What have I done wrong?
What
yeah,
have I
he
done?
was.
He was
He was
asking
asking
Allah.
some. Yeah, he was
He was
asking
asking
Allah.
about what he'd done wrong. He was asking for forgiveness.
What do you think he's done? He must have done something terrible for him to be so...
Oh, he did. He
Tried
did.
to kill.
Do you think he tried to kill Imam Hussein? That would be terrible. Yes, Sarah.
Let's ask Ayla.
Shall we ask Daylan?
I think he's her.
Oh, Zara, Zainab thinks
Yeah.
it's Hurr.
Yeah.
He was probably Hurr.
What made you think, Zainab, that he was Hurr?
Because he's in the bad team, and now he's asking. Now I think he wants to change into the good team. So he's asking Allah, "Oh, what have I done wrong?" And he's asking for forgiveness.
So he was actually, what Zainab said is right, and there was something else he did that he was regretting. Yeah.
When Mullah Abbas came to get water, he like pushed it.
Stop.
He didn't let him.
No, not. Well, he was one of those people who actually made Imam Hussein take his tents away from water. But before that, you know what happened when Ibn Ziyad? Who remembers who Ibn Ziyad was? Yes, Aliyah?
He was the ruler of Kufa.
Kufa, well done.
Good girl.
So he was in charge of all these troops and all that. Yazid gave him full permission or authority to deal with this whole matter. So when he found out that Imam Hussein ﷺ has left Medina and then he has left Makkah and he's starting to move towards Kufa, he sent 4,000 troops with under the commandment of Hurr, the person we just saw, Hurr ibn Yazid Riyahi, and another person called Hussain ibn Numair, who was one of the worst enemies of Ahlul Bayt. So these people were not told to martyr Imam Hussein or anything. What Hurr's duty was basically to stop Imam Hussein and take him to Ibn Ziyad. Now, Hurr, in his heart, he knew that Imam Hussein is good, is on the right path. He is actually the manifestation of truth, and he had a lot of respect for the family of our Holy Prophet, especially our Lady of Light, Lady Fatima Zahra Salam Alaiha. So when Ibn Ziyad gave him this duty, he left his house. He got ready when he was just leaving and getting on mounting his horse. He heard a voice which said, "You are on a journey towards bliss, towards success." And in his heart, he thought he heard that voice 3 times, and in his heart he thought, "How can this be true? This must be some, devil making those noises, because how can this be true? I'm going to go and stop the grandson of Prophet. This can't be good." And then he left because he was one of the commanders of army, and he had to listen to what Ibn Ziyad said. At this point, there was no intention of actually a battle or to martyr Imam Hussein or anything. So he started towards he started his journey towards where Imam Hussein was expected to be at that point. And on the other hand, Imam Hussein salam, with his few companions and family, he was moving towards Kufa. And at one point, the Imam saw the place called Zu Hassan. The Imam actually saw the army coming from far, the army of Hurr and Hussein ibn Numair. And Imam had the advantage of seeing them before they could see him. So he asked around, said, is there a place where we can hide? Like, for example, a hill or something where we can hide, and if they come and attack us, we can defend ourselves. If they are offensive, if they are coming to attack us, we can attack them. Yes, Aliyah?
And there was a storm, a desert storm, the sandstorm.
No, I think you're thinking about some other story mixing it here, because there was no storm, but the Imam, it was really hot and it was a desert. So the Imam got behind a kind of hill, a place where the other enemies couldn't see them. They hid there, and the Yazid's, Ibn Ziyad's army got closer and closer. And when they got close enough for Imam salam and his companions to actually see their faces, Imam noticed that they looked tired and they looked thirsty. So the Imam called his soldiers, and Hazrat Abbas and Ali Akbar said, get the water ready. I can see that these people are thirsty. Even though the Imam knew they were enemies, but he could have taken advantage and attacked them and finished them there and then. But he chose to actually go to them, give them water, help them. And then when that was done, the Hurr came forward and he said, this is the letter I got from Ibn Ziyad, and I am commanded to stop you. You can't go to Kufa. There are no friends there. You're not allowed to go there. And you're not allowed to go back. So the Imam at this point showed him the letters that Kufis sent him. Yes, Sarah?
Wasn't one of the people, I think one of the people was so tired they couldn't even, lift themselves up. So Imam lifted his head up.
Yeah. And he helped him drink that water. Yeah. That's how kind our Imam was. The same enemies who later on made them move their tents away. So the Imam showed him the letters. Said, I didn't move. I didn't have any intention of fighting or anything. People of Kufa wrote letters to me and said, we need you. We need you to help us. And Hurr said, I had no idea people of Kufa sent you letters. But you can see that right now, I'm in no position to disobey Ibn Ziyad. He'll kill me. So stay with me. Let's move forward together. And I'll send a messenger to Ibn Ziyad and ask him what I need to do now. Can I send you back? Can I let you go back to Medina? So the Imam agreed. They started moving together. And on this journey, Hurr would always, even though he was a commander of Ibn Ziyad's army, he would always pray behind Imam Hussein. He had this respect in his heart. So the letter came. Finally, when both troops had reached somewhere close to Karbala, the messenger came from Ibn Ziyad. And the message said that be very strict to Imam Hussein. Don't let them set their camps near water. Surround them and make sure they are thirsty and tired until I send more troops. And then we'll fight them. At this point, when Hurr found out that there's going to be a battle and found out that the balance, there will be no balance of armies. The Imam will be alone with a few people, and there will be thousands of people on the other side. He then started to reflect, because he could see on one side there's the grandson of Prophet, who's the embodiment of everything that's good. Can you imagine any good quality that Imam did not have? Kindness, bravery, forgiveness, anything good that we think, the Imam had it. And anything bad that you can imagine, Yazid had it. So the Hurr was thinking, if I follow Yazid, I'm definitely ending up in hell. And if I follow Imam Hussain, I will definitely get killed. But my end will be good. But he was very um, regretful of what he had done. He was wishing, if only I had let Imam go back at that point, it would not have come to this. So he spent that night in that dilemma, thinking, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? And then he finally made a decision. He said, I will do the right thing even though it's hard. Yes, Zainab?
You know how he's saying that he's going to change? What about the army that he has?
The army was there under the command of Umar ibn Sa'd. He couldn't convince the whole army to go with him. Otherwise, they would just attack and kill him there.
So what did they do?
So he decided to leave secretly. He pretended that his horse needs water. He took his horse, he took his son. I think he had more than one sons. And he took his sons and a person who used to be his servant. So he took them and talked to them. They were all, they promised to support him and said, yes, we want to do that. And they all left sneakily and they joined the camp of Imam Hussain. Dailam, do you remember Hurr coming to the camp of Imam Hussain that night?
I do. You saw how Hurr was less restless in the plains of Karbala. He was walking here and there. And finally, like Sister Nargis said, that he decided that he wanted to go and ask Imam Hussain for forgiveness. Now, it was dark, night time. Hurr entered Imam Hussein's tent. Imam Hussein's companions who were sitting in the tent, they got worried. They said, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? And Hurr had his head down and he looked really guilty. And he looked as he had done something really, the biggest crime in the whole wide world. He was very sad. He just stood there and he said, not harshly, he said, I'm the one who stopped you. I'm the one who frightened the innocent hearts of the children in your caravan. Imam Hussain stood up. He said, Hurr? And Hurr said, yes, I am Hurr. What a shame on me that what I did to you, my master. Now, Imam stood up and he went towards Hurr and he hugged him and he said, what a beautiful name you have, Hurr. Hurr means free. You've made the right choice. You're free because your name is free. Your name means free, someone who's free from all the sins. And you decided, you heard what your heart was saying, and you decided to come towards the truth. You are already forgiven. And he came, he said, but Imam, can I give my body, this body? I don't see any way to get any repentance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I stopped you. Can this body of mine be cut into pieces so I can repent for what I did? Imam Hussain, how kind he was. He said, Hurr, come, you are one of us. And Hurr stayed with Imam Hussain. And then the forgiveness was given from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from Imam. He came and he stayed with Imam. The morning of Ashura. Now again, everybody was going into the battlefield and Hurr came and Hurr said to Imam Hussain, he said, oh Master Hussain, please give me permission so I can go in the battlefield and give my life for the true religion of Islam. I don't want to be sitting here. Please give me permission. Now, Imam Hussain said, Hurr, you are my guest. How can I let you go? who said, please, my master, let me go. Now Imam said to her, go, Hurr, you have the permission. Now Hurr goes into the battlefield. He fights, and he kills lots of people. He fights furiously. He was the commander. And finally, he gave his life. Imam Hussain came to Hurr's body. He came in the battlefield and he held his body and he looked up on the sky and he said, oh Allah, I commend this man who has given his life for the true religion of Islam.
So no matter what we do, no matter what our mistakes are, like how big they are, I think there's always a way to make up for it.
Definitely. Who could think that Hurr would be forgiven for what he did? But look at the kindness of Imam Hussain. Sister Nargis, I was crying. I was thinking how sinful I am. But when I saw Imam Hussain forgiving Hurr, I said, there's always a way. There's always hope. Because Hurr is the symbol of hope for all of us.
Indeed.
Assalamu alaikum, welcome to our program. For this segment, we have invited our young Quran reciters from our community. We welcome them and we would ask them to introduce themselves to us. Would you can you please tell us your name and age?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Rayhan and I am 9 years old.
MashaAllah. And your name and age?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Alizain and I am 13 years old.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. How long you have been reciting Quran?
We have been reciting Quran for 3 years with our Qari.
MashaAllah. Which one is your favorite surah?
So I have a lot of favorite surahs.
Okay.
So the favorite surahs of mine are Surah Al-Nas,
Okay.
Surah Al-Buruj, Surah Al-Bayna and Surah Al-A'la.
MashaAllah. What about you?
Out of the 36 surahs I've learned, my favorite surah is Surah Al-Nadi'at.
Surah Al-Nazi'at. Okay. Why? Because of the tune or because of the meanings or what?
It is because of the meanings and the way it has been written in Arabic.
MashaAllah. So which surah you're reciting today for us?
Today we are reciting Surah Al-Fajr.
Okay. And why you chose Surah Fajr for today's recitation?
We chose Surah Al-Fajr as it is the month of Muharram, and this surah is dedicated to Imam Hussain alayhi salam.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. We also have our young artist with us. Can you introduce yourself to us as well?
My name is Shifa and I am 14 years old.
Also, can you please explain about your artwork and your passion?
Yeah, so I've been doing art since I was in primary school and even reception, but I practiced over the years and got better, and now I'm in secondary school and I've gotten the role of prefect
MashaAllah.
for art and design, and I normally do art off of visual images from like the internet, but I also use the advice around me from people, and I use sounds to help me create my images and my
This
paintings.
is amazing, mashallah, beautiful. Today we have both two forms of art, recitation and also painting. Quran is beautiful and has beauty to inspire not only people to recite, also artists to express their connection with Quran through art. So today we are going to combine both form of art. So our brothers will recite Quran Surah Fajr, while Sister Shifa will express her connection with Surah Fajr. I would like our reciters to recite Surah Fajr for us.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والفجر وليال عشر والشفع والوتر والليل إذا يسر هل في ذلك قسم الذي حجر ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بعاد إرم ذات العماد التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد وثمود الذين جابوا الصخر بالواد وفرعون ذي الأوتاد الذين طغوا في البلاد فأكثروا فيها الفساد فصب عليهم ربك سوط عذاب إن ربك لبالمرصاد فأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول ربي أكرمن وأما إذا ما ابتلاه فقدر عليه رزقه فيقول ربي أهانن كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم ولا تحاضون على طعام المسكين وتأكلون التراث أكلا لما وتحبون المال حبا جما كلا إذا دكت الأرض دكا دكا وجاء ربك والملك صفا صفا وجيء يومئذ بجهنم يومئذ يتذكر الإنسان وأنى له الذكرى يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي فيومئذ لا يعذب عذابه أحد ولا يوثق وثاقه أحد يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي. صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على رسول الله وآله الأطهار على رسول الله وحيدر القرار. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وأجل فرجهم.
Thank you very much. That was a beautiful recitation. Now we have our sister Shifa. Sister Shifa, can you explain about your painting?
Yeah, okay. So my painting, I focused on the last line, which talked about paradise, and that therefore I drew clouds, and the in the middle is an angel, the angel's wings.
Wings, okay.
Of an angel.
Mashallah.
And this portrays how we have to think about the good things, and how if we are good people and we look after orphans and we give to poverty and care more about the hereafter than this dunya, then we'll be able to go to paradise.
Mashallah, beautiful. It's amazing to see how young children can also be inspired by Quran, by just you read the translation of Surah Fajr, right?
Yeah.
And that inspired you to make this. Alhamdulillah, that's amazing. We look forward to see more of your paintings, and we look forward to listen to you, inshallah. And this is the end of our segment. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.